Okay, Vayifga b'makom, page 208. You want to get it? Let's guess who it is.
Oh. Well, it was so hard enough. I'm guessing it's a guy.
Somebody who knows that we have to knock loud. Michal? Yeah. Hello, Reb Michal. So, Yocheved.
Are we using this book?
We will, but come sit down. Just move my tefillin to where Michal says, please move them away. Okay. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Page 208.
Rav Ardy spoke to me yesterday.
Yeah.
He told me that he's learning Gemara with.
Yeah. You should try it out.
So I said, I'll try it on. I told him on Thursday, but I'll try it out tomorrow.
Good. Okay, page 208. Vayifga b'makom. Yaakov Avinu came to that place, and from these words we learned that Yaakov Avinu was mitakein. He established Tfilat Arvit. Tfilat ha'erev ein la zman kavua. The evening prayer does not have a specific time, right? Ela zmana ad alot hashachar. In other words, all night long is good for Mariv until the rise of the morning star. Benosaf, furthermore, Chachamim lo tiknu et tfilat arvit kechova, kemo tfilat shacharit v'mincha. Furthermore, the rabbis did not establish that Mariv is obligatory, just as Shachris and Mincha are. Yeah. I thought that you thought you heard a knock.
Why didn't
Ela hi reshut, but rather Mariv is what's called reshut. It means it's up to you. You have permission.
Why is that?
Well, he's going to talk about it. Okay. You know, like you're like the guy that has the. Okay, you want to get it?
Sure.
You're like the guy who says, I have the solution. What's the problem? You heard about this website? You know, you punch in a question in halacha, and you say what kind of an answer you want, and it'll tell you which rabbi to go to. Yeah, sure.
I bet it's earlier than yesterday. So
Baruch Hashem, Haidul Hashem Kitayv. So, Avraham Avinu hevi et hashachar le'olam. Avraham Avinu, so to speak, brought the morning to the world. Ubeshachar ro'im or gadol meir. And in the morning you see a big light shining. Zohi tfilat shacharit. So that's the morning prayer. L'umat zot, et hatam shel hayom. Now the taste of the day. Efshar litom rak kishuhu ameid listayem. To taste what the day was like. When do you taste what the day was like? When it's about to end. B'shkiya, when the sun is setting. Right? Yitzchak Avinu shayach l'madregat hatam. So Yitzchak is more connected with the matter of taste. Lachen kisharatza she'esav yachin lo seuda. When Yitzchak wanted Esav to prepare him a meal, Amar, he said, Vaseli matamim kasher ahavti. Make me tasty foods as I like. So therefore, he was into the taste of the day, and he established mincha, which is davened at the time of sunset. Aval halayla inyano hareach, but the night is about fragrance. Reach nichoach, a pleasant fragrance. We have a plant outside in the front, it's called Malkat Halayla. If you come by at night, now it's already winter, so it doesn't give up so much fragrance, but the mamish is extremely fragrant, and it only gives us fragrance at night. That's why it's called Malkat Halayla. Okay? So Avram is about seeing, Yitzchak is about tasting, and Yaakov is about fragrance. So I imagine he's going to explain. When you look at a person in the morning, you see the person's light. At sunset, you can taste his soul. But at night, you connect with a higher awareness. Reach nichoach, the pleasant fragrance, kashur la'af, is connected to the nose. Hazohar HaKadosh maflig b'madrigat ha'av. The Holy Zohar really tells us great things about the matter of the nose. It says that the nose is connected to the life of life. Life of life. The Talmud says, Shadam karui chai, kol zman sheyesh neshima ba'apo. The Talmud says, a person is considered to be alive so long as he's breathing, so long as there's breath in his nostrils. Shall you come again? He has longer legs. Hi. So, lo halev hu hakoveya. it's not the heart that determines if the person is alive. Ela ha'af, it's the nose. Halev mechubar l'chayim. So the heart is connected to life. Aval ha'af mechubar l'chayei ha'chayim, is connected to the life of life. Right? What do you do when somebody chas v'sholem has a heart attack? Right? You do MMR, right? Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. You got to give them back their breath. Shoresh hachayim, shoresh hashorashim sheli. Right? The nose is connected to the source of life, to the root of life, the root of the roots. B'shat B'riyat ha'adam, when man was created, ne'emar v'yipach ba'apav nishmat chayim. Right? What does it say about the creation of man? That Hashem fashioned the body of man from the earth, and then he breathed the soul into him, into his nostrils. Hashem nafachet haneshama mamash letoch ha'po shel adam. God breathed a soul into man's nostrils. כשנכנס יצחק לקבל את הברכות מיצחק אביו, כשנכנס יעקב לקבל את הברכות מיצחק אביו, when Yaakov came to get the blessings from his father, he said, Yitzchak said, Shalom Aleichem, long time no see. How are you? Good. Remind me your name? Miriam. Miriam what?
Engelson.
So we're on page 208. Second last paragraph. כשנכנס יעקב לקבל את הברכות מיצחק אביו, when Yaakov Avinu came in to get the blessings from his father Yitzchak, Yitzchak אמר, ראה ריח בני, see the fragrance of my son. Yitzchak ראה את ריח הניחוח של בנו. Yitzchak saw the pleasant fragrance of his son. הוא ראה את עומק העומקים של יעקב. He saw the deepest depths of Yaakov Avinu. זה מה שרואים כשמסתכלים על אדם בלילה. That's what you see when you look at a person at night. Another one. You're getting exercise today, okay? Miriam, what's your husband's name again?
My husband's also Engelson.
No, his first name.
Eliyahu.
Eliyahu.
He's good friends with Felly Tesla.
Yeah. Another angel or a person?
No, person.
A person who's an angel?
Absolutely.
Meyer. Give him a book. Take a book at the bottom there.
Speaking of the angel, did you close
lower down. Yeah, he knows. Next shelf down. The blue ones. See it? Okay.
Shouldn't the word be, instead of a Yitzchak Ra'ah, shouldn't be Yitzchak smell? That's where Hanifah Shabbat, I probably could see.
Yes. It should be. But when you're on a high madrega, it's different. Okay, it's like when we were at Har Sinai, we saw the sounds. Okay. So what we're talking about here is we're talking all about the whole union of fragrance, right?
Can I just say, the last thing that goes when a person passes away is his smell, isn't it?
It's the last thing that remains, I mean.
Oh, that remains.
And then I understood you.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, yeah. Okay, so the whole thing is fragrance. So Avram Avinu is sight, Yitzchak is taste, Yaakov Avinu is fragrance. And
Can you just say that again?
Avram Avinu is sight, like, he sees the light in the morning. Yitzchak Avinu is giving us the taste of the day. At the end of the day, at Shkia, right? So he establishes Mincha. Yaakov Avinu is about fragrance. So, what is all this about? We don't normally talk this way, and we don't normally think in these terms. But there are so many different ways of healing. Some are with sight, some are with taste, some are with fragrance, right? Okay. So, אני יכול להגיד לך לעשות, last paragraph, אני יכול להגיד לך לעשות משהו או לא לעשות משהו במודע. I can tell you to do something or not to do something on a conscious level. אני לא יכול להגיד לך לעשות משהו מתוך העל מודע. I cannot tell you to do something subconsciously or from a subconscious place. התפילה שתיקן אברהם היא חובה. The prayer that Abraham established is obligatory. התפילה שתיקן יצחק היא חובה. Mincha is also obligatory. אנחנו חייבים להתפלל תפילת שחרית ותפילת מנחה. We're obligated to pray Shacharis and Mincha. אבל מעריב, the evening prayer, תפילת הערב, היא התפילה שתיקן יעקב, that is the prayer that Yaakov established. היא איננה חובה, it's not obligatory. מעריב היא רשות, it's a voluntary prayer. אם חלילה היא הייתה חובה, if חס ושלום, if it was obligatory, זה היה הורס את כל העניין, it would really mess the whole thing up. Why? כי כשעושים משהו מתוך חובה, because when you do something, because it's obligatory, זה יכול לגעת רק במודע שלנו. It can only touch our conscious level. והקדושה של יעקב אבינו הייתה, and the holiness of Yaakov Avinu was, שהוא חיבר אותנו למשהו יותר עמוק, is that he connected us to something much deeper, למדרגת העל מודע, he connected us to the unknown, העל מודע with an eye, to the supra, now to the supra consciousness, של עבודת Hashem by the service of God, in the service of God. So,
if Marav is the truth, then we don't have to daven.
No, you don't have to. No, I'm not. I'm saying you're 100% right. That's why, for example, in Shacharis, by the way, I haven't seen your husband in ages. You guys were away?
We were away. We just
okay. Welcome back. Okay, good. Yeah. If you forget to say Yalav Yava in Shacharis or in Mincha, you have to repeat Shemoneh Esrei. If you forget Yalav Yava in Marav, you don't have to repeat Shemoneh Esrei because it's not an obligatory prayer. What's pshat? It's not obligatory. Let's say, for example, my mother told me, Sholem, whenever you see Michol, you have to say hello to him. Right? Okay, so I say hello to you, right? But what if I say hello to you because I'm not obliged, but I want to? Right? Is there a difference?
Yeah.
Right? So of course there's a difference. Now, there's a teaching of one certain from Reb Shlomo. The Torah begins with the letter Bet. Aseret HaDibrot begins with what letter? Aleph. So the Bet is 2, right? Aleph is 1, Bet is 2, right? So symbolically, Bet represents choice. You can choose this or you can choose that. Okay. Aleph is no choice. Okay. So why does the Torah begin with a Bet and then Aseret HaDibrot is with an Aleph? So the matter is like this. Initially, your involvement with Yiddishkeit is on the level of choice. You want to, you don't want to. Hashem is giving you a choice, right? But then when you really get into Yiddishkeit, you get to the level of Aleph. You just don't have any more choice. For example, Reb Shlomo said, do I have a choice to eat some chazer or not to eat chazer? Yeah, of course I have a choice. No, I don't have any choice. Right? What's that? You have free choice. Yeah, you have free choice. But you reach a certain point in your connection with Hashem, you just don't have any more choice, right? It's like wanting to have to, right? Have to, want to, right? I want to have to, right? That's the choice area. And then when you really get into it, it's I have to want to, right?
I have difficulty with that.
Yeah, because don't worry about that you have difficulty with it, and I'll tell you why. Because Reb Shlomo taught things that are so different from our usual way of thinking, from our usual education. But for example, there's one particular teaching that took me years to wrap my mind around it. Something that he had said. Okay, I'll tell you what he said then. He says people say that a stingy person doesn't give things away because he has what to give away, but he can't give it away. But he said the truth is, a stingy person, he can have $100 million, but the reason he can't give anything away is because he doesn't really own it. If you really own something, for example, you own this apple, and if you really own it, you can give it to me and it'll still be yours. Now, go wrap your mind around that. Okay? It's not an obvious thing, but when you really, really think about it a lot, you begin to get it. Okay? So, I want to have to. In other words, I want to be, I want to have to keep Shabbos.
What does it mean have to?
I want to have to. In other words,
What
let
does
me
it
ask
mean
you,
have
do you
to?
want to breathe?
Yes.
Do you have to breathe?
Yes.
Do you want to have to breathe?
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know if I want to have to. I think if I could live without breathing sometimes and do it, that might be sometimes an advantage.
Yeah.
But in general,
But you can't live with that.
if I could have a life without breathing,
You have to want to breathe.
Never mind.
Never mind
I
having
don't have
there
to
is no
want to
life.
breathe. I don't have to want to breathe. It's built in. It's
Okay.
it's the autonomic nervous system. It's not.
Yeah, but it's in your system that you want to live.
I want to live and I want to have
Okay.
it work. Go.
So do you have free choice about it? Yeah, you have free choice about it. Do you really have free choice
No.
about it?
No.
That's the point. Okay. So if
I'm observing Torah on the basis of autonomic,
I didn't. No.
that's crazy.
Nobody said. I didn't use the word automatic. I'm saying
But
that
the breathing is. I don't.
I want to be. I
I
want to observe Torah.
Yeah.
Right now, I can conceive of observing it or not observing.
Okay.
I want to get to such a place where I can't even I can't possibly consider living without it. Think about it instead of talking about it right now. Listen, Shaya, believe me, you need to think about it. It takes time to take this in. That's why I want to go further. This is going on the same topic. Okay, but think about it.
I have.
I want to.
I thought about it
when you met your wife, you had a choice.
Yeah.
Do I want to love her? Do I not want to love her? Do I want to marry her? Do I not want to marry her? From what you've told me, you've gotten to a place where you can't conceive of not loving her. Yes or no? Don't give me a speech. Just yes or no.
Anything that you say to me about any subject.
Wait.
Anything.
I don't want a speech. I want to
anything you say about any
subject,
subject, including this, including mitzvot, including whether I can choose to continue to live or not continue to live. I believe I have some choice.
Yes. Yes, you do. Granted.
That's why we have difficulty with
granted. To say it. Okay. So I accept that you have difficulty with it right now. It's okay. I had difficulty with that when I first
I
heard
had
it
someone
also.
very close to me who chose not to continue to live.
Okay, so but and what I'm saying to you is
It's a choice. I choose to live.
Shai, please. I don't want to carry on this debate over here. I'm saying I accept that you have difficulty with it. I have no agenda to make you agree with it right now. You'll think about it. Okay? Maybe you won't agree with it after a year also not. I'm just telling you that think about it. It's whenever, let me just put it this way. Physicists who try to understand Einstein on the basis of what they knew in physics couldn't understand him. Because whatever Einstein came up with at that time didn't fit with whatever was known in physics. Understand? So sometimes to understand something, you have to say, this is the way I understood it until now. Now let me just sort of put that aside and see if I can consider it from a different way. Okay? But physicists who said to Einstein, or who debated Einstein, or whatever they said, no, you can't be right because it doesn't make sense according to what we know, never understood Einstein. Okay?
They call that a paradigm shift.
Page 209.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Maybe the thing you're calling choice is not a real choice. The percentage, I have the choice to kill someone. I can put a bullet in someone's head, but I don't really have that choice. I have a choice of pulling the trigger, but I can't physically. So yes, I have a choice. In words, I have a choice, but is that considered a choice? Maybe
could he be the person? Could he, the person who he is right now, could he possibly do that? No, he can't do it.
I have a choice. Maybe that's not considered a choice.
Okay, page 209. Let's go. הרצון הפנימי ביותר. The 209. We finished 208. הרצון הפנימי ביותר. Your deepest will. Okay, and this is explaining further what you're having trouble with. אין לנו כל השגה כמה הנשמה שלנו עמוקה, כמה הלב שלנו עמוק. We have no idea how deep our soul is. We have no idea how deep our heart is. מוכרחים תמיד לשאול, we always have to ask, עד היכן אנחנו מגיעים בתוך עצמנו? How deeply am I getting into myself? לצערנו, to our distress, אפשר לעבוד את השם כל החיים, you can serve God all your life, בלי לגעת אף פעם בפנימיות שלנו, without ever touching the inside of your essence. אפשר להיות קרוב לאדם אחר שנים רבות, you can be close to another person for many years, ופתאום לשים לב שאנחנו עדיין זרים, and then all of a sudden discover that you're still strangers. לא נגענו זה בזה. We haven't touched each other. We haven't reached each other deeply. יכול להיות שאני לומד תורה, מתפרנס ומקיים מצוות, ועושה הכל נכון. It could be that I'm learning Torah and I'm making a living and I'm doing all the mitzvahs and doing everything correct. אבל לשחות לגעת בפנימיות, but to have the merit, to touch, to reach the deepest depth, אפשר רק במתנה מלמעלה, that is only possible with a gift from heaven. אני יכול להתאמץ מצידי או להגיע מיד פנימה, I can make an effort on my part and do things to reach a little bit into my depth. אבל רק אם השם רואה כמה אני נואש או משתוקק לגעת בעומק העומקים שלי בי, but it's only when Hashem sees how desperate I am and how much I'm yearning to reach my deepest depth, הוא יכול לרחם עליי, then he can have compassion upon me, ולנקות עבורי את הפנימיות שלי, and clean my deepest depth. So, I'm not sure yet right now why he introduced the idea of cleaning my deepest depth, but I think let's try it. No, please let me give me a chance to. Just because I'm not saying something that doesn't.
No, I'm saying I also.
It doesn't mean that I'm not thinking right now. Please let me do it, okay? So, one of the problems in education is that teachers ask the class a question, and then the first kid that picks up his hand is the one to answer. In the meantime, they're not letting everybody else think. Sometimes we just have to think, okay? So, Yocheved, I'm really talking to everybody, but okay? No, because I know that you understand this language a bit, okay? When we talk about how deeply one person touches another person, right? Do you want to say something about that?
There's a connection.
The connection, yeah. In other words, you see, there's a natural tendency, we're actually designed this way, okay? To protect ourselves, to think about ourselves, right? We don't want to, we don't want to put ourselves into somebody else's hands so totally that they could chas v'sholem destroy us, right? We like for example, for let's say with Mayor, I'm pretty close with Mayor, okay? And even though I feel very close with him and I trust him, right? There's sort of like probably a little bit of space within my inner essence where I'm not quite letting him in there, right? And probably it's the same way with you. Like we keep a certain spec, like I'll let you into my house. I'll let you into visit every room and so on and so on. But there's sort of like one little space in my heart. I'm not letting you in. Now, what's in there? What's in there in that little space? Okay, I mean we can say all kinds of things. Okay, but let's say, for example, we can be poetic. Okay, but let's say there's fear over there, even between husband and wife. There's a certain fear, or there's something that maybe I'm ashamed to admit to, or whatever it might be. Okay, there's a certain same thing with my relationship with Hashem, right? Yeah, I can in what Reb Shlomo is talking about right now. Okay, I can do mitzvot, I can learn Torah, I can give tzedakah, I can do everything right? But there's a little bit of space where I'm not quite letting Hashem into, meaning to say, for example, that that Hashem, if so long as you treat me right, I'm keeping my relationship with you. So long as you treat me right in the way I understand that you should treat me. Okay? So that means that there's something there there's something that's blocking my full expression. Okay? I'm not totally, there's a part of me which is still separate from Hashem. There's a part of me which is still separate from this person, etc. Okay? Now, when the Ishbisser is talking about over here, or the last sentence that we read, when I'm desperate to really completely be in touch with Hashem, then Hashem will clean out that little bit of whatever is left to whatever is interfering with my bonding with Hashem. Now, in Hebrew, glue is called devek, right? If you ever read the instructions on a bottle of glue, it says, make sure that you remove all the dust from the surfaces that you're trying to bond together, right? Understand? So we're talking about that dust on the inside that is still not letting me connect with you completely. I told you once that I think it was the censor that this man had come for a Shabbos. I think it was by the censor or by the vision, or probably by the censor. But in any case, he it was a beautiful Shabbos, the singing, the this and the that, but the pushing and the shoving by the Hasidim, if you're not used to it, it's something else. Have you ever been to a tish with the pushing and the shoving?
Really?
No.
I've been to something.
You know, in 770, it was so packed, and they would they would pile up the benches and the tables like bleachers, right? And you'd have like hundreds of people in a row, right? And it's already like everybody's already standing like sardines, and somebody decides, no, I want to get up there too, right? So his friend reaches down, but you need some space, so you push the whole line, right? And you see this whole line is going like this, and then the other guy at the other end is just about falling off, so he's pushing back, it's and it's like among Hasidim, the pushing and the shoving is unbelievable. Like when it's snuggling, it's like there's no pushing and no shoving, but by the Hasidim, it's like the Rebbe is talking in a tiny, quiet voice, and like you have 25 Hasidim piled on each other, Anyway, so this guy is coming to say goodbye to the Rebbe and get a blessing, and he says, it was a beautiful Shabbos, but I really, really can't handle this pushing and shoving. So the Rebbe says, let me tell you something. Says, once upon a time, a couple of angels came to God and said, Rebbeinu Shalom, people are always complaining about the weather, right? And you're so busy. Why don't you give us the job of managing the weather system? We'll make sure that it rains at the right time and like in a perfect temperature. And God said, okay. So these two angels set to work, and they organized the system where it would rain only at night, so that during the day the sun was shining, everything was good, everything was beautiful. No huge storms, like pleasant breezes, etc., and everybody is so happy, and the wheat is growing beautifully. And everybody's just waiting for the harvest to come in, and they finally harvest this beautiful wheat, and they grind it into flour, and lo and behold, the dough won't stick. They can't make a dough that sticks. It's just mushy. So the people are really upset. They were expecting this beautiful wheat to make them this great bread. And everybody's complaining. And the poor angels are all upset. And they come to the Rebbeinu Shalom to see what did we do wrong? So Hashem says to the angels, so tell me what you did. So they gave a full report. So the Rebbeinu Shalom says, were there any big storms? So he said, no, chas v'sholom. Everything was just right. So it's okay. So Hashem says, that's the problem. Tasriel, I'm going to call you back in a couple of minutes. I'm giving a shir. Shkoyach. He says, that's the problem. Because you see, when you have a storm, one stalk of wheat knocks into the other stalk of wheat. And when they do that, everything comes from the dust of the earth. So when we knock into each other, you're knocking the dust out. If you don't knock the dust out, you can't stick together. Understand? You need, so that's what he told them, the Hasidim are pushing and shoving because everybody's busy knocking everybody else's dust out, But if you don't knock the dust out, we can't bond. Okay? That's the thing. And that's what he's talking about over here. Right? If I'm standing and I'm saying Baruch Atah Hashem, and I want to really experience being in the presence of Hashem, and I honestly am having a hard time with it, let's say. Okay? So what's the problem? God is there. Hashem is there, right? Question is, am I letting him in? I'm saying the right words, but am I letting him in? Shaya, I think you heard this once, Kotzker Rebbe was a child. Somebody comes over to me and says, I'll give you a ruble if you tell me where God is. And he said, what? Wherever you let him in. Right? Wherever you let him in. So if I'm not letting him in, right, there's something there that's like, that's taking up the space. So what do you do if you're so full of dust already, right? As a matter of fact, Rav Steinsaltz in his commentary on the last week's parshat, we were reading all about the Yitzchak opening up the wells that his father had dug that the Plishtim had blocked up. See tomorrow, Mr. Shem, yeah? That the Plishtim had blocked up. And the word there is Sitmum Plishtim. So Steinsaltz gives an amazing interpretation. The word Sitmum, blocked up, is also the same letters as the word Stam. If you ask any Israeli kid, what do they mean when they say Stam? You know what they mean? It means boring, it's garnished, and so on. We have a problem. We have a problem that when you do a mitzvah, you repeat it tomorrow. The clip of the plishtim is that it becomes stam. It becomes just ordinary. It's no longer exciting, and so on and so on. So what's the solution? The solution is that you have to keep on digging deeper and deeper. Because the well is Mayim Chayim. It's living waters. Understand? But if you let the dust collect there, right, the only people who are going to make a living from that is going to be the archaeologists, right? So we have to keep on, redigging the well and redigging the well. And when you learn something, and you learn something 100 times, now you're learning it 101 times, find something new in that. Don't just think, oh, I'm learning the same thing 101 times now. There's newness in it all the time. But you got to dig for it. You got to find it. Okay? So let's read one more paragraph. Rabbi Akadosh Meishbitze Omer, the holy Ishbitze Rebbe says, "Shashem menaket hapnimiyut shelanu b'sha'ah she'anachnu yeshenim." When does God clean our insides? When we're sleeping. Min hastam, most probably, Abraham hitpalel b'li herev v'Hashem she'inaket hapnimiyut shelo. Probably Avraham Avinu was praying non-stop that God should clean out his inside. Yitzchak hu haya kodesh kodashim. Yitzchak was the holy of holies. Kol davar etzlo lamala mihasakatenu. Everything that Yitzchak was doing was beyond our understanding. Aval ish lo yitpalel LaHashem she'inaket hapnimiyut shelo kemo Yaakov Avinu. But nobody prayed for God to clean his insides as much as Yaakov Avinu did. The Sihat Tefillah, and the height of his prayer, Haya Ba'oto Laila, was on that night, Vayifgam B'makom when he came to that place. Al pi pshuto vayifga b'makom. Simple pshat means perusho shehu higia lamakom. He arrived there. אבל אפשר לפרש את המקום באופן עמוק יותר. We can explain it in a much deeper way as well. תארו לעצמכם שחס ושלום מישהו נמצא בסכנת חיים. So suppose, for example, חס ושלום, somebody is in the danger of losing his life. ואני צריך $1,000,000 כדי להציל אותו. And I need $1 million to save him. אז אני רץ לרוטשילד ומבקש $1,000,000. So I run to Rothschild and ask for $1 million. איך אדבר אל הברון רוטשילד? How am I going to talk to him? האם אומר, am I going to say, hey Rothschild, איך נשמעים לך $1,000,000? Hey Rothschild, how does $1 million sound? כמובן שלא, right? רב לייבל אייגר והרבי מאישביצר אומרים שאני מוכרח לאחוז בידו של העשיר. Reb Leibel Eger and the Ishbitzer, they say, what I need to do is I need to grab him by his hand, this rich man, ulitchanein, and beg him, bevakashat tatzil et ha'adam hazeh, I'm begging you, save this man. Right? Gam kan over here too, vayifga b'makom, means to say that Yaakov achaz k'vyachol b'makom baruch hu, that Yaakov grabbed onto God, so blessed be he, vitchanein she'inakeh pnimiyuto, and he begged him to clean his pnimiyut. Okay. So I have a holy friend in Montreal. I haven't been in touch in a while. And, I used to go to a shiur of his. He's a big rav by the square Hasidim in Montreal. So on Thursday nights he would give a shiur in Ma'orei 9 from Bishnabur. When I first started going to the shiur, like we were learning such lofty things that I wished that I could really relate to it better, but I felt like I was really blocked. And I didn't know him well enough yet, so I was too embarrassed to go and speak to him openly. So I wrote a note to him, and I put it on his stender in the shul. When nobody was in shul, I went in and I put a note on his stender, saying, I wish that I could be living and applying what we're learning, but I'm really feeling very distant from it. And I didn't sign my name. A couple of days later, he sees me, and he looks at me and says, "Du hast es geschrieben? You wrote that note?" So I said, yes. So he says, "Ich kann dir nicht helfen, ich habe dasselbe Problem." I can't help you, I have the same problem. Anyway, this conversation carried on for a number of years until he finally told me one day, he says, "Listen, I don't have any more advice to give you. The only thing I can tell you that could work is you mamish got to cry your heart out to God and beg Hashem to help you take care of it." Okay? You gotta cry your heart out. Like, in other words, you see, we were learning, was it last week, the week before, that we're making compromises, right? Mm. So I know that I'm 70% like this and I'm 30% like that. Not bad. 30% out of 100 is not bad. I remember I got a 35 on my first chemistry test in grade 10, and the teacher wrote on it, "Atrocious." 35 is not such a bad mark. Maybe it's atrocious, but it's not. Anyway. Okay? But we make compromises, right? We make compromises. We say, okay, this is good enough. Well, if this is good enough, why is it good enough? Is it good enough because you really believe it's good enough, or is it good enough because you just don't want to try anymore? Right? You're cleaning up your room. It's 90% clean now, right? The first 50% of the schmutz you can sweep up easily. The next 25% is a bit more difficult. The next 10%, the next 10%. The closer you get to 100%, the harder it is, right?
It's actually true.
Yes. That's why davening is
The cleaning is a
it's like
good.
sweeping of the soul, davening. Davening is like sweeping of the soul, cleaning out the soul. So like, like the first 70, 80% you can clean out easily. When you get like, to the next 10%, oh, that's already more difficult. Right? You get down to the last 5%, now you're dealing with the schmutz that's sticking there. Like, it's been stuck there for who knows how long, right? There you got to start scraping and so on, right? So it's that's the way it is, and that's when you need to really be a warrior, right? That's when you really need to marshal all your energies to really do it completely. But the Yetzer Hara gets a hold of you and says, "Listen, relax. You're already better than 95% of everybody else, in the population. So, okay, 95% is good enough. That's mishkaferach, right? Now, if you're going to just live with that compromise, so that means that I'm accepting not to be completely connected with God. Chas v'shalom, right? Now, what's the difference between being 95% connected and 100% connected? Well, let's put it this way. What if you were to know that if you were 100% connected, you would have the power of blessing and healing, right? But you're accepting 95%, and what you tell everybody is, listen, over there in Bayit Began, there's a tzaddik. He's 100% connected. Go to him. Well, okay, very nice. At least I'm telling the truth. But why not be 100% connected? Because we're making compromises all the time. Because we sort of like we've given into that Yetzer Hara of like like wanting to be able to turn my back on Hashem just in case I might feel like doing it, type of thing, right? But when you're really connecting 100%, there ain't no turning around. Like this is what we were talking about before. There's a point where you just get so connected, you just can't stop being connected.
So that's no choice.
Huh? That's
There
right.
is no
That's
choice.
already no choice. It's no choice. Right? It's like when you're really at tzaddik in something, okay, and somebody comes and asks you, "Can you help me?" If you're really connected, how could you not? That's exactly what your neshama wants to do, right? You just can't. You can't stop yourself from going all out, right?
Cleaning.
So he's saying that just one sentence. Okay. So Yaakov says Vayivka b'makom, like, okay. So here's Yaakov, who's the first Jew born in Israel who has to go into exile. If you think about like what was he feeling like that night, right? He must have been. I mean, he wasn't going to Hawaii. He wasn't going to the Bahamas. He wasn't going to Miami. He was going to a person who was known as a famous robber and thief and idolater, right? And he has to go. He has to leave his father and his mother and go into exile, and he doesn't even know if he's ever going to come home, right? He must have been feeling like, what's wrong with me that I have to go through this, right? Like, why? And it's that crisis that probably helped him really cry out and say, Ribono Shel Olam, I don't want any part of me not to be connected with you. But you've grabbed a makom, like he just mamish grabbed onto God completely. And if any of you have ever taken life-saving, are you a lifesaver?
Lifeguard?
Lifeguard, yeah.
No.
I'm beginning to mix up my English.
Maybe a lifesaver.
Lifesavers, the candies, right? The first thing they teach you in lifeguarding, I was told, I never took the course, is that don't let the drowning person grab hold of you. Even if you're an adult and the drowning person is a child, don't let them grab hold of you, because what they have then is a dead man's grip. They have a dead man's grip and they'll drown you, because you won't be able to take your hand off. You understand? In other words, Vayivga b'makom, Yaakov Avinu grasped onto Hashem in such a way like, Rebbeinu Shalom, I'm not letting go.
Okay, I'm beginning to see it clear. Right, and that's why he had the link.
And that's why?
That's why he had the link.
Well, that's
But
later on,
what
but
is
Esav, that's what Esav's angel. Esav's angel, yeah. That's a bit further.
That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah, that's next
I'm
week's.
beginning to,
Next week's
it's
parshat.
becoming clear from.
Yeah. That's why, like, when we're learning something like, that's so radically different, it's unfair to ourselves to think that I'm going to get it in 1 minute. That's why sometimes I have to say, we're not debating this now. Let's just sort of. Sometimes Reb Shlomo would come in and they start a shiur and he'd say, forget about everything that you know. And don't ask me any questions. Just take it in. Later we'll talk. And when he would say, forget about anything that you know, but he's basically saying the same thing I was mentioning before, but the physicists, I don't know physics, but I've been told by physicists, if you try to understand Einstein on the basis of what was known in physics before Einstein, it was impossible to accept what he had to say. You had to erase the board and start from scratch. And sometimes, like something like this, if you don't give yourself a chance to consider what's being said, we're just so used to thinking in one particular way. We're not opening the door to receiving it, a little bit, to receiving it. What do you want to say, Malka?
Have to give things time.
Because you getting it, yeah.
Yaakov's prayer, right? Then he starts praying again. And he says that if God does everything, what happens over there exactly?
Well, we don't know what he said in the prayer. Just as Vayivga b'makom. So we know that he did.
And then God tells him.
And Hashem, so then he has the dream, right? And Hashem comes and promises him all these things that I'm not going to forsake you, etc. Now,
then Yaakov has a point.
And then Yaakov gets up in the morning and he says, if I would have known that this is the Beit Elohim, I wouldn't have slept over here, right?
And if God keeps all his promises, then I will. Then he's my God.
Right. So the Mefarshim explain, when he says, Im yeh Elohim imadi, how could he possibly say, if God is going to be with me, when God just told him, I'm going to be with you?
Right.
So he says, so he explained it, if I will be worthy for Hashem to be with me.
And then the conclusion is, I will be with God.
Then everything that he gives me, I will. She's making a commitment that whatever he does, whatever he possesses, that he's always going to be conscious of Hashem has a portion. But Mr. Hashem, I hope that by tomorrow night I'll have looked into it a bit more. There's certain questions that you learn them, you learn an answer, then comes the next year and you realize, I still don't know the answer. You learn the answer again, and another answer, and comes next year, I still don't get it, But so that's Torah. Okay. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.
Rabbi Sutton is not